A 13-year-old boy is critically injured following an ATV crash in Shawano County. Deputies responded to Nightingale Road near Oak Road near Wittenberg just after 4:30 yesterday afternoon. First responders found the boy unconscious and he was not responding. Paramedics took him to a nearby hospital. We've not received any updates on his condition. State DNR officials are helping investigate the crash. They believe the boy was riding in a field and the ATV rolled and pinned him. No one witnessed the crash. It's not clear how long he was pinned before he was discovered. The Wittenberg School District is providing resources to students and staff affected by that crash.